What's up, folks? I'm out here in the field today. I'm riding along with somebody I got doing some contract work for me. So while they're in the store, I'm going to have a quick discussion with you guys. And it was something I was thinking about today. And it's really, really deep because it really stems from a situation I had a couple of days ago. And I was really trying to figure out how I could express this to you guys because there's a teachable here for me, myself too, as well. Like I always self-reflect and get these moments where I like to, find clarity in a situation and think about how I dealt with the situation. And if I didn't deal with it appropriately, then, going forward, I can do the best I can do. Right. So I got a few minutes and I'm not going to, this guy, I don't want to, have this discussion going when this guy gets back. We got to get to business. And so I'm just going to be riding along for just a short while, but I'll talk quickly. The thing I want to talk to you guys about today would be detachment. Detachment. And that comes in many forms, but for today, for the purpose of this discussion, we're going to talk about detachment in the context of having an argument or a disagreement, right? Now, for the purpose of this discussion, we're not going to use family members or something. Well, yeah, this can apply to those people too. But really, the situation that happened to me was with a complete stranger. And so, many of us will find ourselves in these moments where these complete strangers who are negatively grounded, who have, low emotional IQs, and they're dealing with things. And really, like I told you guys in another video, it's really like a low spirit in these people where, they have, they maybe have drug use or whatever. And they're just frustrated. And they have, they just let those negative things take them over, and then they affect your life, right? Because you're just going about your day, But I was somewhere at they had a little convention thing that I went to, and I was talking to a few folks, and this guy walked up to me, and stepped up to me, and pretty much didn't introduce himself, didn't extend his hand, didn't do any of those things, any of those formal things that a normally grounded person would do, right? Put yourself in this situation. You could be at a cookout or something, at a family gathering. There could be a stranger there or something. Someone may introduce you to their fiance or their girlfriend or something, or just anything like that. And that person will come up to you and you say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so." And you stick your hand out, and then they'll formally give you their name, and then, you go from there. That's how normal interaction should happen, right? But, this guy watched me for a while. I had seen him going back and forth, where I was at. And maybe I think he probably knew at least one person that I had spoken to that day. And so, he went about it wrong. And it kind of like left a bad taste in my mouth because, it was a teachable for me where I realized that I reacted in the moment and I didn't have to necessarily do that. But it was like one of those things where, it just caught me off guard. So you have to be prepared for these negative people who will just step up to you and just say whatever they want because of their low grounding, right? It could be anything. It could be some perception of your success or, any of these things. You may be speaking to someone that they want to talk to or something. And so they have this who do they think they are kind of attitude. And maybe that wasn't exactly what this person was thinking, but the way they came off and conveyed themselves to me, I had no choice but to believe that that's where they were coming from. Okay. So I'm somewhere at this place and, I'm talking. I didn't stay too long, but, I was talking. I was trying to, look at things. They had some products out there I was looking at, just listening and everything. Y'all go to these things, right? And so this guy comes up to me and he says, what did he say? He says, instead of him just formally saying, "Hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so," he walked up to me and said, "Who are you?" And, what is your title here? And just started, barraging me with a bunch of questions that, and I said, whoa, buddy. I said, normal people, when they meet someone, they introduce themselves first. They don't walk up to people and pry into that person's life. They don't just intrude and invade in the person's space, which is really what this is connected to, right? But you have to detach from your own anger, right, in these situations. And because if you realize you're dealing with someone who's low grounded, that will help you deal with them better, right? But I wasn't prepared, and because I'm human, I'm only human. And so even me in my moments, and this is why it's a teachable for me to talk to you guys, because I'm sure many of you have done this, right? You're not bad people. You're not looking to fight anyone or be rude or anything, but you just react, right? And this guy came up to me and I had to, I had to check him on that, right? Because really for the rest of his life, maybe, the next social interaction he'll have or something in some gathering, he won't do that because that's not appropriate, right? It's unhealthy. But I saw this in this guy. He literally walked up on me and said, who are you? What's your title? And I wasn't organizing that event. I just came, just like everyone else was there, right? So I kind of got this like sense of him saying, who do you think you are? But why would one do that to me when I don't even know him? They're complete strangers. I've never said anything to the guy. I'm sure, he could have gotten something out of the event just like I did. So I didn't know where that was coming from, right? And so I had to check him. And so he said, I can see how I offended you. I can see how I offended you. And I said, well, you did, right? But he didn't apologize. He just walked off, shrugged it off and walked away. And, my thing was, I just stood there for a minute like, where do these people come from? They come from low grounded people, And the problem you'll face in this world, folks, is that a lot of people, really have pent up frustrations in their life. You just don't know where a person is coming from or what they've been through. And so that's in that context, you don't want to necessarily judge them, but you do want to judge the negative energies that are in these people, right? If someone came up to me and tried to hit me with a bat or something, I'm not going to just let them hit me in the face with a bat or something, right? So really, there's a position that you need to take in these situations, right? Now, you could just walk away, and that's what ultimately the guy walked away, right? But he walked away still holding on to some negative energy, to which to this very moment, I don't know why he did it, or I have no idea what place he was coming from, right? Because I just simply, if we could have probably had a conversation further if he had simply stepped back, regrouped, and then tried it again. Say, hey man, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'm Bill or whatever the hell his name was. He could have said that, right? But he never even made an effort to even tell me his name, not once. So really, was it about meeting me? Was it about knowing something about what I'm doing or trying to network? No, it wasn't. It was about trying to find room to get into your space to insult you. And a lot of these negatively grounded functioning people will walk up on you and will do these things, right? You may hold the door open. I've spoken about this before, and someone may walk in and throw their head back. And these people, you have to think to yourself, would you do that? Would you, if someone held the door open for you, wouldn't you just say thanks and keep it moving? But see, you dealing with people that, they want to hurt you. They want to rouse your emotions because they're in a low place and they want to bring everybody, especially people they perceive have some good energy or something, or trying to be enlightened or something. They'll try to pull you down in a rut. And that is really the negative spirits in these folks that are, that are doing these things. So I want you guys to, just to really think about how you're handling the situation, right? You don't have to allow certain types of people to engage you just because for the purpose of sport or because they want to, right? You don't have to answer questions from complete strangers about, how much money you make or where you got your car, because I've had that happen, right? Really ridiculous things. These people will literally be willing to walk up on you. Okay? So just imagine, how did I feel if I had my car in the parking lot? How do I know if this guy hadn't seen me outside or something? I wasn't out there when he left, so he could have gone out in the parking lot and, flat my tires or something or anything. And sometimes these people are so in such low spirits that they will be literally willing to do such a thing, right? But, knock your windows out or something. I mean, just whatever. And then you would be left standing there going, what did I do to this person? I mean, I don't even know this person, right? So it shows you that there are really, 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 really baddie people walking around on this planet, right? And if you are baddie, be careful, because you may find that person, like I always say, who's not necessarily grounded, and anything can come from that, right? So, I just want you people to think about courtesy, thinking about the fact that you yourselves are people and you want to be treated a certain way. And when you approach someone, use that same standard for other people when you're approaching someone, right? Because it's only going to lead to conflict, right? And we didn't have a fight or something. We're grown men or something. It wasn't going to be anything like that. I'm not going to waste my time, trying to fight some complete stranger or something, or put myself in a situation where, I chop them or something and then I got to, get in handcuffs or something. Because I'm not going to, I don't know who the person is. I don't know what their intentions are. If they're going to try to harm me or something. So, it's like that. I'm always on defense for stuff like that. So I snap back at the guy, but sometimes you have to have a cooler head and just assess the situation before you just rattle off at your mouth. I told you guys, in traffic situations, road rage situations, maybe someone goes past you or passes you improperly in a lane. Don't flick them off. Don't just, they're gone. Once they've passed you, just let them go ahead. Who are you, right? So you have to think about those things, right? And I would like to, I hope I never see this guy again. I speak about these types of people in my book, I Love Bad Behavior, folks. And, y'all may want to go check that out. I do talk a lot about these types of people because really, from my perspective, and maybe I'm wrong, but, from what I've seen, I can only be right according to my eyes, right, and what I've experienced. But most people that I engage in these scenarios are literally looking to engage a scenario. You get what I'm saying? So, I only ground myself and I only keep company of people who can exhibit. And that's the thing about an empath. Empaths have that great ability to see people and to sense their energy, and if they're bad or good, or if they have intentions. We can see things like that, right? But the average person is not going to necessarily, think about, Grant, I got something. I don't know if I had dust in here on my face or something. Excuse me, folks, if I have dust or something on my face, because this guy was moving some stuff and I was, but and that's what you get. You're dealing with people who are literally, there's something clinically wrong with them, right? It's not your job to play, couch, psychiatrist or something, or a psychologist. It's not your job to try to, work with them in that moment, right? Because you're just there to do whatever you're doing. You don't have time for trivial things. You're not a child. This is not third grade. And even in third grade, that's where these things happen. That's where these things first got their first taste of existence, right, for these people, and they never grew from that. They didn't have the proper support networks or the proper people in their lives, who could train them or teach them something better than the behaviors, the low grade, low functioning behaviors that they were displaying, right? So I love bad behavior, folks. I love people who are able to assess the moment, right? Making sure that they don't put themselves into peril, making sure that, they're protected from harm and certain things by looking ahead and being insightful, or trying to be. Because some people are just flying monkey types of people where they're just diddly doos. That's what I call them. They just diddly do through life. And, they allow all of the negative and bad, terribly low grounded people to come around them. And then those people permeate their spaces, and then they find themselves behaving just like those people. Now, strong empathic people never allow low functioning people in their space, because we already have seen it all. We already have experienced the bite of these people, of being around these people, right? The sting of it. Okay. So you folks have a good day. Like the videos and share them, and, give me some subscriptions, folks. I would appreciate that. And, like I said, check out my book, I Love Bad Behavior, and you folks have a great, wonderful day. And try to steer clear of foolishness, right? This guy's coming back too anyway. So, yeah. So, I'll talk to you guys soon. You have a good one. Take care.